So here's a little intermediate to advanced workout. You have the option in this workout to be using your long resistance band, which I'm going to use for the workout today. So your long piece of resistance band, you can have any kind of piece of resistance band, you can get lots of varieties around. Mine does happen to just have those loops already inside it. The only place I've managed to find these is Decathlon, but you might find them elsewhere. But any long piece of band doesn't have to have the loops. I've got a light band to medium band today, so use whatever works for you in your workout, or just do these moves without the band. Okay, so we're just going to run through a few movements. Hopefully you've looked at my class prep, you've done a warm-up before taking on this workout. We're just going to run through a few movements just in case, just to get that body moving quickly. Obviously if you've already done a warm-up, just skip straight through to the first exercise. So just take those feet just down in line with your hips. Lovely. Ground through those feet. Ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, heel of the foot. Let's just start to move our head chin to chest, chin to ceiling. Just moving that head a few times as we just work through into that range of movement. Lovely. Start to think about breathing now. Steadily in, trying to fill up that rib cage, and steadily out. Take a pause, start to look from side to side. Lovely, good work. Just warming up through the head and the neck. Just getting it moving before we start to work a little bit harder. Start to think about engaging through your centre, your pelvic floor, picking up that little blueberry between your bum cheeks, drawing up through that centre point between the front and the back. Take a pause, start to circle those shoulders one way. Going through that whole range of movement, up, back, down and round, up, back, down and forward. Lovely. Starting to think about that spring that gently joins your front rib, your lower rib even, to your front hip bone. Switch direction of those circles. Start to think about that lower belly, those magnets drawing together, or that belt drawing together. Gentle tension into your sit bones, drawing together into those buttocks. Lovely, good work. Take those hands to your prayer position just in the centre of your chest, and twist, and twist. Lovely, just getting that rotation in your spine as you turn from side to side. So now we stop moving our head, think about that length in the back of the neck. Think about that helium balloon, that piece of string pulling the crown of your head towards the ceiling, keeping the front of the neck nice and soft. Couple more twists there. Lovely. Good work. Okay, just start to come up onto the toes and back down again, just moving through that range of movement through the feet. Lovely, good work. Keep that gentle tension in the buttocks, drawing those sit bones together. Keeping your centre engaged. Now think about smiling wide those collarbones. Gently drawing open, and then just a little smile upwards. Lovely. Good work. Feel those toes, feet, ankles releasing. Two more. Hear mine clicking. Lovely. Now just come into a couple of knee bends there. Just warming a little bit more up through the feet, through the knees, through the legs. Start to think about your pelvis position. So thinking about it here in standing as we do this quick warm-up, and thinking about it through every position that we work our way through in our workout today. Trying to maintain and keep that lovely neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Good work. One more. Good. Take the legs a little bit wider. Let's just drop into a couple of pliés just to warm the hips through. Keep that pelvis neutral. Don't spill any water out of that bucket. Keep engaging through your centre. Collarbone smiling. Back of the neck nice and long. Piece of string pulling the crown of the head. Good work. Good. Hold down. Side bend. Just to open up the sides of the body just as you hold that plié. Just a few more here, just a quick warm up. We're not looking to burn those legs too much at the minute. Lovely, breathe. One more. Lovely, come up. So come to the end of your mat, we'll do one roll down just to continue to warm up through the spine. Obviously, if you've already done this, you'll be jumping ahead to the next exercise. So just take your time just to drop the chin, round through the shoulders, start to draw in, round through the middle of the back, the rib cage, through your lower back, heading now towards the floor. Let that head start to go floppy, hands nice and floppy. Hold there for a moment. And then we're coming down to begin our workout onto our tummies in our prone position. So we're taking that band, if you're using it, and we're taking it across the back of our shoulder blades. And then, so get it right up under those armpits, okay? Or as high as it wants to go. And then we're holding the ends of those bands onto the floor, just around, arms around our sides, setting up for our cobra, okay? So take your forehead onto that pillow. Remember, we're peeling up into this cobra. It's not that stretch version where we're coming up into that really big back bend. We're trying to really work the muscles through our back, also engaging the front of the body. So start with that head down on the pillow. Hold the ends of the band. They might ping off, so hold them tight, okay? We're going to start to peel the head and the chest. Keep that peach held between your chin and your chest. You'll start to feel the rib cage lifting up from the mat. And then you start to peel that lower belly away from the mat, only lifting as high as you can comfortably. Keep that tailbone tilting down towards your feet so you keep that centre engaged. There's a little flame just under your belly. Draw that belly away from that flame and now start to release back down. Lower belly, lower ribs, top of the rib cage, chest and head. Good, let's go again. Just going to adjust my band here. I'm going to hold my loops. Just because this band is probably not quite as stretchy as some of the elastic ones. Okay, so we're going to start to peel the head. Keep that peach held between your chin and your chest. Chest lifts, rib cage lifts. And most importantly, that lower belly lifts from the mat. Keep that lower belly drawing away from that flame. Keep your tailbone tilting down towards your feet. Peach held between your chin and your chest. And then release. Lovely, good work. We're going for 3 more. So we're really working the front and the back of the body in synergy here. Obviously working those back muscles, but keeping the front of the body engaged. Let's go again. Let's breathe out. Breathe in to hold. Draw that lower belly off the mat and out to lower. Peeling back down, piece by piece. 2 more. Last one. Head, neck position, nice and neutral. Crown of the head pulling up in a diagonal line. Tailbone tilting down, lower belly lifts away from that flame. And release. Good work. So just going to work a little bit harder through the shoulders now, coming into our swim level 2 variation. Okay? So we're going to keep that band where it is this time. So you'll be holding the ends of the band there. We'll come back to holding it so it looks a bit more like what you'd be doing if you don't have those loops. So you're going to reach those hands forward like we do in our swim 2. We're going to go double arms, okay? So we're going to reach that band and lift. And then lower back down. Remembering you're shining lights from the end of your fingers, stretching and reaching as far as you can before you hover those hands. If that hover isn't working for you, too much strain in the shoulders, just work on reaching those hands forward and releasing. Forward and releasing. It's quite hard work on the shoulders. So wherever you are, breathe out and in. Good work. Releasing and relaxing those shoulders in between. Reach those hands, shine those lights, hover those arms and release. Keep that centre set, lower belly drawing off the mat. Tailbone tilting down towards your feet if you need to. This is just to eliminate any big dip and dropping down.
You shouldn't feel the front of the belly and the hips squashing down into the mat. You want that engaged and you want that gently drawing off the mat. Breathe, just a few more here. Last 3. Reach. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. Keep that forehead glued into that pillow. 1 more. And release. Just let that band go for a moment. Okay, so we're going to pop in a little swan dive level 3 variation now. So bring that band to the sides of your body. So still across the shoulder blades, right up into those armpits, but just along the sides of the body. So we're going to lift as we do into our normal swan dive, but our arms are out wide. So we peel that head, chest and arms together. Lovely. And release back down. So as we lift, we're going to breathe out. As we lower, we breathe in. So we're thinking about that soft peach, not dropping it, not squashing it. So that eliminates us from tipping that chin up towards the ceiling as we lift. So we don't want to do this. Okay, we're going to drop that peach. Keep that length in the back of the neck. Working through the top of the back, back of the shoulders. Little muscles in the neck engaging to keep that nice neutral. Keep that center engaged. Lower belly drawing away from the mat. Tailbone tilting down towards your feet. So you'll notice I'm not lifting very high because I'm trying to work the top of my back rather than my lower back. Obviously those lower back muscles will engage, but we're trying to switch them off as much as possible by keeping that center nice and steady and set. Keep those arms wide. If you need to, just slacken off the band a little bit. Come into a slight bend. Lovely. But if you can keep that tension on the ends of that band. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. And release. Well done. Good work. Push yourself back into a quick release into your shell stretch. So we're going to come round onto our backs now, starting with a little workout into our bellies. So we're going to come into some hundreds work, starting with our level 3, okay? So that takes us straight up into that double tabletop. So remembering from that prep, how we set ourselves up in that tabletop. So float one leg, brief pause, and then breathe out and float the other leg. Once you get to that tabletop, making sure that that center stays nice and set, nice and neutral. Pelvis in that nice neutral position, and you're supporting that through your lower belly, drawing up the pelvic floor and keeping that spring engaged between your lower rib and your front hip bone. All the while keeping that nice neutral, soft front neck, long in the back of the neck, open collarbones. Now we're going to take our band this time and take it over the top of the knees, holding down by our sides on the ends of the band. And we're going to start to pulse those hundreds arms. Lovely. Taking that breathing pattern for 5 in and 5 out. Just focus in a moment on that breath in, reaching down to your rib cage, feeling the back of the rib cage and the sides of the rib cage. Come back to your center, making sure you're nice and set and neutral through your spine and your pelvis, supporting that through your pelvic floor, your lower belly and your rib cage. Lovely. Keep breathing there. Keep that breath pattern flowing. Keep those arms pulsing. Just splashing into a little puddle either side of you each time. Lovely. Keep that peach held between your chin and your chest. Collarbones smiling, shoulder blades melt into the mat. Good work. Take a pause. So you can either continue there for a moment longer, or you're going to come into your level 4 with your head lifted, gazing over the top of those knees. So showing you that option, or just stay with head down into your level 3. So wherever you are, continue to pulse. So drawing up through that rib cage. Lovely. Keep that spring engaged, keep that neutral. So just because we're drawing up, we're not squishing and flattening that back, we're not tilting our pelvis upwards, we still keep that neutral position, that flat line between our belly button and the front of our pelvis there. Lovely, breathe. Good, gazing over the top of the knees, front of the neck, nice and relaxed, back of the neck, whoop, they do ping these bands, back of the neck, nice and long, collarbones open. Let's go for 2 more sets of breath, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one. Lovely, head down if it's up, hands relax, and float yourself out of that tabletop. Really good. Okay, so we're going to come into some shoulder bridge now with that band. So we're going to take the band over the hips, okay? So just over those headlights that we're going to push to the ceiling. So just set yourself up, just push that pillow just above your head for a moment. Let that head come round down onto the mat or the floor. So working the front of the body as well as the back of the body. Let's start to think about drawing those sit bones together, engaging through the buttocks as you tilt that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Keep those hands pushing the ends of that band into the mat. Push those headlights towards the ceiling nice and steady, remembering we're keeping the front of the body engaged. Don't lose that connection with the front of the body by letting that rib cage lift and that belly push towards the ceiling. Keep that lower belly drawing in, that lower rib spring engaged. Lovely. Hold at the top. Let's peel down one time through the breastbone, through the rib cage, through the lower back. Lastly, the tailbone lowers down. Let's go up again and hold at the top this time. Tilt that tailbone. Keep that band there. Pushing over those hips. Pushing those headlights towards the ceiling. Lovely. Take a moment at the top. Just check down with those headlights. Are they nice and steady, nice and even? Is the front of your body engaged? Are you drawing those sit bones, keeping those buttocks engaged? Now hold here. Now push that band a little bit harder. Push those hips towards the ceiling. Keeping those buttocks engaged, keeping that lower belly drawing in, keeping that connection of that spring from your lower rib to your front hip bone. Keep the shoulders open and relaxed, front of the neck relaxed, little pulses. So you might be a bit lower in your range of movement and pulsing here, and that's fine. Take the range of movement that works for you. Lovely. Wherever you are, take a pause. We're going to release one leg into our level 2. Knees, height nice and even. Now pulse a little bit more into that band. It's going to really fire up through that support leg and the buttock there. Lovely. If you're feeling it a lot in the back of your thigh, just drop the height and just pulse from there. We really want to get these bottom muscles working rather than the back of the thighs. Lovely. Take a pause, pop that one back down. Push the other leg away. Level 2 variation, pulsing here. Lovely. Good work. You can see my headlights pushing towards the ceiling. Make sure one side of your headlights doesn't drop. Keep that lower belly working. Shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed. Lovely. Bum cheek on the supporting leg, working the hardest. Rib spring engaged for 3, 2, 1. Good. Pop that leg down. Roll yourself nice and slowly out of your bridge. Lovely. Hard work. You hear me working hard there as well. Okay. Pop that pillow back in for me now. Good. So we're going to come back up to sitting, okay? So just work your way into a seated position. We're going to do a little bit of work into our roll up now. So actually, we're going to bring this band around the back of our thighs. So a little bit of assistance into that roll back. And then we're going to work hard and do a few holds while we're there. So hold the ends of the band and just hold them together in between your hands. So I'm bringing my hands together, okay? Lovely, good work. Holding and clasping the ends of the band there. So we're going to come down into whatever range you have in that roll down. So just going to show you quickly. You might be here, yeah, in a nice little small roll down. If you're nice and controlled and you can get that C shape and you're working through your belly and you feel nothing in the back, you can come a little bit lower into that roll down. And remember, we're working through that extended position at the top into that C shape, that curl position into your roll down, okay? Keeping the knees nice and steady. Try not to let the knees wobble around. Anyway, let's go. So hold that band together, drop down. We're going to do a few reps to begin with, and breathe. So work in your own range of movement, tilt off that tailbone, create that round, that C shape, and then extend at the end. So we're really working in synergy through our tummy muscles and our back muscles, creating that strength between that flex and extended position. Lovely. Real dynamic control here now. Lovely. Neck nice and relaxed. If you feel that tension in your neck and your shoulders, if you feel any tension in your back, you're going down too far. Remember, there's a huge range of movement in this exercise and everyone's going to be different. Next one, I want you to hold down and just give me little pulls gently up with that band. Holding, working hard in that belly. Fixing that position. Drawing that band up. Keep that C shape. Keep the neck nice and soft. If you need to, draw up a little bit. Holding there. Keep that spring nice and tight between your lower rib and your front hip bone. Lovely. Breathing for 4. 1. Lovely. Now take your time just to roll back up and through. Excellent. We're coming into our oblique version now. Okay, so this time, again, because my band's a little bit, doesn't stretch as much, as I'm going to take hold of the loops on the end, but just hold the ends of your band. So this time, keep in that position in the middle, holding on to the ends of your band. As we roll down, we open one band out to the side. Yeah, like we're offering. And then we come back up. And we're going to switch sides each time. Open. And roll back up. Oblique, roll up. Open. So you're really twisting, trying to move the trunk into that twist, yeah? So we're really working the sides of the belly into those obliques. It's in the name. Lovely. Breathe. And in. Keep that C shape. Even though you're opening up, we're still working into that C curve. Lovely. Only go as low as your body is allowing you. Tension out of your neck. Tension out of your back. Working that tummy. Lovely. Breathe. So we're going to hold the next one down. Hold. Open. Back together. Open. Lovely. So we're giving that offering. Twisting round. Working the sides of the belly as we hold into that roll up. Lovely. Breathe. Let's go for 3. Last one. And come back up again. Well done. Good work. Okay. So now, if you've just got your long band, you're going to need to just tie a little loop through the end of that band. Okay? So in the end of that band, just tying a loop, knot it up so it's nice and tight. So you've got a little loop that can just go around your foot or your ankle. Obviously mine's already got the loop there, so I'm just going to be using that end loop into my foot there. So we're going to do a little bit of one leg stretch work there, okay? So a few little reps on the same leg, because obviously we're holding with that band there, okay? So we're coming into our level 3 to start with. So we come back down to the mat, head just resting onto that cushion, back of the neck nice and long, front of the neck nice and soft, set up those shoulders. So we're coming into that double tabletop for our level 3. So float one leg and then the other leg. Lovely. Take hold of that band. Add some resistance. You can have really nice tight resistance, but you can have a little bit more slack. Okay? So wherever you are, keep the support leg nice and steady. Set your center and start to push into that band and back again. Remembering on this one leg stretch, we're touching that switch, turning it on, releasing back, and then turning it back off again. You're on that 45-degree angle. Think of the precision here. Trying to get that same angle each time. Get that toe pushing to that same point. Front of the neck nice and soft. Melt those collarbones into the mat. We're working on a bit of dynamic control now, okay? So as that leg's moving, you need to keep that center, that pelvis, that spine lovely and neutral. All those important muscles engaging. Lovely. Breathe. Good. keep those shoulder blades melting. Now continue with this level 3, or option here to lift into a level 5 variation. So if you want to, you can lift the head now. Gaze over those knees. Lovely. Pushing into that level 5, holding down. Keep that spring engaged, keep that nice and neutral. Remember, don't flatten your back too much into the mat. Make sure that back isn't lifting heavily from the mat. Collarbones nice and open, front of the neck nice and relaxed if you're lifted. If you've got a lot of tension in the neck, then take a break, take the head back down. You can try and lift again or just continue to work into that level 3. Let's go for 3, 2, pushing into that band. My hand stays nice and steady, giving the same resistance. Last one. Lower the head, lower the hand, and lower the legs. So we're going to move into a sideline position, just because this is already on this leg. So we'll keep working this leg, and then we'll come back to that one leg stretch when we switch. So I'm just going to move my pillow to the other end. So this is going to be my top leg, okay? So we're still using that resistance of the band. So now, it's your top foot there, okay? So just have a slight bend in your underneath knee. We're coming into that lift and lower. So hold the end of, hold the end of the band with your other hand, your top hand, and ground it down into the mat. That's going to give you resistance. So hugging onto your small cushion or your folded towel there, okay? Shoulders facing forward. Just take a moment to set up that top hip. Draw down towards your foot and slightly forward so that top headlight faces forward. Engage through your centre. Even in this side position, keep that pelvic neutral, that spine neutral, and start to lift and lower that top leg, feeling into that resistance. Lovely. Breathe. Good. So we're really working deep into that hip, into the sides and the top of the buttocks. So you're thinking about this area here. It's that top hip you're working. Really important sides of the glutes now. Good. Try and keep that top leg just slightly rotated down. So you're not opening all the way up here. Okay, that's just going to get a little twist in your lower back, working more into the back muscles. We're really trying to isolate and hone into the hip muscles here. Lovely. Good work. Breathe. Lower belly engaged the whole time. Take a pause. Point the toe and start to circle that top leg. Nice steady circles. Lovely. Drawing in one direction. Pencil drawing on that wall just to the side of you. Keep that pressure on that top hand. If you need to, just move it down a bit. If that resistance is getting quite strong, kicks in quickly when we've got the resistance of the band. But obviously if you're choosing to, you can do all these movements without. Lovely. Keep that headlight glued still. Keep your spine and your trunk glued still. Don't let it follow the movement. Let's take a pause and switch direction. Breathing. So just in and out through those arcs of the circle. Lovely. Really feeling it work quickly in that top hip with the resistance of the band. Just a few more here. Keep the neck and the shoulders nice and relaxed. Shoulders facing forward for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just let that leg go. Give it a little tap. Kicks in so much quicker with the band there. Good work. Okay. We're going to switch to the other leg now. So just switch that band onto the other foot. Obviously, if you've got your loop already tied, maybe just retighten that knot. These bands can ping around a bit sometimes. Okay, excellent. So remember, we're coming back onto our back first to do that one leg stretch work. So come into that. So set your neutral. Remember, we're not squashing the back into the mat and we're not lifting. Find that neutral. Find that flat line between your belly button and your pelvis. Set that neutral. Come into that double tabletop. Noticing that that neutral doesn't change. But if you need to imprint a little bit to get you there, then you can. Okay, take the end of that band, start to push that leg away. 45-degree angle. Reach for that light switch. Noticing that my head, my neck, I know I'm turning to talk to you a lot, but trying to keep your head and neck in line. Soft peach held between your chin and your chest. Don't squash it, don't drop it. Back of the neck nice and long. That piece of string is still there, pulling to the wall behind you. Lovely. Reach. Glide that leg nice and light. You're going to really start to feel it now. Breathe. Keep that spring engaged. Lower belly engaged. Keep those magnets drawing together. Keep that pelvic floor drawing up. Lovely. Keep all that set as we move that leg in and out. Collarbones open, shoulder blades melting into the mat. Lovely. Option now. Take a pause. If you're going for that level 5, reach that head. Gaze over those knees. Front of the neck nice and soft. If there's a lot of tension, a lot of aching in the front of the neck here, lower your head or just lift for a few and lower for a few. Lovely. Working through that tummy. So that lower rib is drawing down towards that front hip bone. Lower belly engaged. Lovely. Breathe. I'm keeping steady with this hand, so I'm not following the leg with the movement. So that's not going to give me any resistance there. Lovely. Let's go for 4, 3. Breathe. Keep that center working. Collarbones open. Last one. Good work. Pop the hands down. Float those legs down. Okay, so lastly, we're going to finish up with those lift and lowers and circles. So come to your side. Keep that top hand holding onto that band. Hug onto that pillow. Bottom leg slightly bent. Top head light down and forwards. Let's take that hand, hold that band into the mat and lift and lower. Lovely. Each time I lift, I'm keeping that lower belly engaging. I'm thinking about this working through my top hip right into that buttock, deep in the top and the side of that buttock. Lovely. I'm keeping my top leg slightly rotated down so that I'm really isolating into that region. Lovely. I'm not opening up here. Keeping that top headlight facing forward. My head, neck, shoulders nice and relaxed. Shoulders facing forward. Lovely. I haven't got a lot of tension on this hand on the band. It's just holding that band. My rib spring is engaged. My spine stays steady and neutral. Lovely. Breathe. Take a pause down. Point that toe. Let's go for those circles. Remembering with these circles, that leg is directly in line with the rest of your trunk. But if you're getting quite a lot of aching, clicking in the hip, just come forward a little bit, okay? But try and keep that leg directly down. If you need to slacken off the band a bit, you can. Or keep that tension on, really feeling that top leg working. Lovely. Keep that lower belly engaged. Think about your pelvic floor. Breathe. Take a pause, switch direction. Really feeling it working now. That band gives so much more. Lower belly engaged. Keep that center set. Keep breathing. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let it go. Well done. Give that a tap. Fantastic workout, whether you did it with or without the bands. So I suggest now you take a little 10-minute stretch or cool down just to release that body off after working it really hard.